Hello, thanks for tuning into this instalment. So we're on to lesson 2 of level 2 now. We're going to have a look at triplets a bit more in this lesson. So if you're looking at watching these videos, I'm assuming you've worked your way through all of the lesson 1 videos. They're not all going to be online straight away. They will eventually be on over the next week or so. But yes, I'm assuming that if you're watching the level 2 book, particularly if you're my students, then obviously we've worked through level 1 and we know what triplets are. So I'm not going to go into what triplets are at the moment because that's going to be covered in the lesson 1 videos, but we're going to look at different ways that we can play triplets. So let's go over to the correct page in the book. So this is this one, so level 2 lesson 2, further use and understanding of triplets. So if we think back to triplets that we played up till now, which we did in book 1, again, assuming you've done that, we played them as a single stroke roll. So it was 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. So basically what's happening there is, because we've got an odd number of hits on each beat starts with the opposite hand. So the 1 triplet on beat 1 is going to start with the right hand, 1 triplet. When we get to beat 2, 2 triplet, it's going to start on the left hand. That can cause a few issues sometimes. I mean, one is if you're going around the kit, because we've got right, left, right, left, right, left. You've then got to suddenly get, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. When we get to this one, it's kind of getting that left hand down. Okay, which feels a little bit uncomfortable first time you do it. A big mistake a lot of people make, or a common kind of error, is this happens. Okay, we end up playing 4 on the middle tom, so your right hand is free to come down on the low tom. Okay, so there are different sticking patterns we can use to overcome these and other scenarios we're going to have a look at in a second. So one is to play them like this, is to play our triplets right, left, left. That way, we're always starting each beat on the right hand. It's not going to sound any different, it's just a different sticking pattern. So it would go like this, right, left, left, right, left, left. So 1 triplet, 2 triplet. Okay, as it gets faster, it takes a little bit more technique because you've got to do that double with your left, which is your weaker hand, or with your right hand. If you're left-handed, you would lead with your left hand, so you'd go left, right, right. So, okay, so you've got to watch out for that. So one very kind of common place where I would use this sticking pattern is in this scenario where we are playing accented notes. Again, accents, if you're not sure about accents and ghost notes, you need to check out lesson 6 of book 1, because that's where we cover accents. But the little sideways V thing here is an accent, which means we've got to play that note louder than the others. So if I played this, let's just zoom in a little bit. If I played this as a single stroke roll, what would happen is the accents would fall on opposite hands each time. So it would go like this. Okay, be 1 triplet, 2 triplet. Okay, when you're playing it slow, that's not much of an issue. As you get faster, okay, it does make it harder to get that nice consistency of sound between the accented note and the ghost note, which is the quiet hit. So generally what I would do is I would go back to this sticking pattern and play it right, left, left. That way round, our right hand is always loud and our left hand is always quiet. Would go like this. So you can, left hand just stays a couple of centimetres up off the drum and the right hand is coming up for the accented note. Okay, gives us a much more consistent volume doing it that way around. If we look at the next exercise, we're going to add a second bar. First bar is basically what we just played. It's doing those accented notes all on the snare drum. What we're going to do in the second bar is we're going to move the right hand around the toms to play the accented note on the beat, and the left hand is going to stay on the snare drum. Okay, so if we just play that second bar, if you're following just from here, it would go like this. Okay, now again, if I played that second bar as a single stroke roll, we would look like this. Okay, we've got to cross over at the end. If you're doing it fast, you get all kind of tangled up and whatever. If we do it right, left, left way, again, it makes it a lot easier and we get a nice consistency of sound. So this exercise, basically just 2 bars, would go like this. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet. Okay, nice consistent sound doing it that way. So work on that nice and slowly. Again, should be doing this with a metronome. Keeping that right hand then is going to kind of be locked in with the metronome beep. Something like this. Let's just speed this up a little bit. I'm going to do this one at 70 beats per minute. Okay, so right hand is basically going to land on the drums with that metronome beat each time. So like so. So let's just look at a different sticking technique. We're going to use that for drum fills in a second. We're just going to look at some general kind of triplet drum fills as well in this next section. First one, we're going to go back to playing a single stroke roll, because it is still good practice to be able to do that single stroke roll technique. If we look at the fill, we're basically just playing a bar of triplets, just going around the kit like this. So it's okay, watch out for that middle tom, because I guarantee at least one of you will do 4 hits on there. Okay, it always happens. Our groove, again, this can throw people out a little bit, because we've got bass drums, well, we've got snare drums on the normal backbeat on 2 and 4. We've got bass drums on beat 1, then the and of 2 and the and of 3. A very, very common mistake here is that people get these the wrong way around. So it should sound like this. Okay, common mistake is people do this. Okay, kind of like the hand leads. So remember, you've got to get that foot in there going into that bit. Again, this is a really good time to work on our timing between playing a straight 8th note groove going into a triplet fill. So timing wise, we're going to be like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Again, do it with a metronome so you know that you're keeping the speed correct between the speed of the groove and the speed of the fill. Remember, as I always say, the speed you play your groove at in the first bar here is going to determine, obviously, the speed that you're going to play your fill in the second bar. So let's give this a go with the metronome. I'll go a little bit slower. Take this one down to 60. 2, 3, and 4, and. You can start to add a crash as well. Again, get it nice and tight at that kind of slow speed, then gradually work on building your speed up. Our next fill. So this is now going to take the second bar of the exercise we did on the last page. So it's going to take this bit here. Okay, this is going to be our fill. We're going to keep the groove exactly the same, so we're not changing the groove, we're just concentrating on the fills in this one. So this is going to go back to that right, left, left sticking pattern. Left hand is going to be playing ghost notes, right hand is just going to play the accented quarter note position, going around the toms. Okay, let's play that with the metronome. So 3 and 4 and. Okay, we can bring a crash in. Okay, and so on. And then you can start to experiment and mix like different kind of combinations of these sticking patterns together, because that's also good practice to try and mix different sticking patterns together, which is where all our drum rudiments come in. And again, if you've not got a drum kit, just kind of, my first drum kit was made up of biscuit tins and biscuit tin lids with a cymbal and so on, until I just really annoyed my parents into buying me a drum kit. But you can make your own drum kit out of that. You've got a built-in drum kit on your body here: hi-hat, snare drum, bass drum on the floor, and then just air drum the toms. 2 and 3 and 4, and then 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet. Okay, it's not ideal, but it's better than nothing. until you are lucky enough to hopefully get a drum kit one day. Okay, I'm going to do one more in this lesson. Again, we're going to keep the groove the same as it is. If we look at our sticking pattern now, we've got R, L, F. So F is obviously our foot. We're going to put the bass drum on the end bit of the triplet. And this is kind of a fill that was made famous originally by a famous drummer called John Bonham, probably one of the best rock drummers ever, still my favourite drummer, I would think. If we play this really fast, we get kind of like a John Bonham fill, but we're going to do it slowly for now. So this time, the foot is going to be on the last bit of the triplet, so it's going to go 1 triplet. Okay, let's just get the screen back up a little bit here. So 1 triplet, and then the lut bit is on the foot. You've got to watch that you don't leave a gap between that and your next tom. So it's going to go like this. Okay, making sure we keep that triplet speed the same. So 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Okay, same gap between each note. You want to avoid this. Because basically if you do that, you're playing 1 E and a 2 E and that we looked at in the last lesson. So if you speed it up, it's going to sound like that. Okay, really cool fill. One of my favourite fills. I use it all the time. If you find, what you might find is your foot, or your hand will go with your foot. If that's happening, just slow it down. Okay, and just practice that. A good way to start it off is just practice just on the snare drum and the bass drum. Okay, really slow, and then gradually you sort of build your speed up. Okay, when you get to a certain speed, you'll find your hands and feet will go together. So it's just speeding it up, slow it down, speed it up, slow it down. You'll find you'll get gradually faster each time. Another good way of practicing just hand and foot coordination is just to do hand and then foot. Let's get this back up here. So, and then start to kind of like just one of each moving around the kit. Okay, and start to speed it up. And don't forget, left hand, right foot, right hand, left foot, left, all different combinations that you can think of to do that. Sorry, I keep not looking at the camera because I'm looking at me on the screen down here. Hello. So this one would sound like this again if you do it with the metronome. Just a word of warning to watch out for. We finish on a foot down here. Obviously, we start on a foot, so you're going to get like a double foot beat. So 60 beats per minute is going to sound like this: 3 and 4 and. Okay, so you can hear that double foot, one at the end, one at the beginning. That was the wrong groove, sorry. Okay, as before, we can add a crash in. Okay, so a few ideas there. Of what you might want to do with triplets, practicing different sticking patterns, right, left, foot, and so on. And a few more little drum fill ideas you can practice there. Worth as well also combining like 8th notes and 16th notes with your triplets. They sound quite nice, something kind of like this. All that kind of thing. Just experimenting around with all these different notes we've got. Don't know why I'm doing that. We'll leave them on there. Got loads of different notes you can use, just down to using your imagination at the end of the day, and try and make up some drum fills. Improvisation is a really good way of kind of developing your sound and your fill techniques and all of that. Okay, thanks for watching this one, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much.